my name's Jade and today I'm going to be doing the Christmas book tag. I haven't done a Christmas tag or like a Christmassy video in like 5 or so years. I think there's one up on my channel. I wouldn't recommend going back and watching it because it's really old, but you can if you want. Question number 1, Father Christmas. Name a book you received as a child that you treasure to this day. I don't think I was necessarily given this book as a child, but I was definitely, it was read to me as a child and then I've since received it. It's probably a good thing that I didn't receive it as a child. And that is The Magic Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. This is my mum's old copy. Let's see, what year? It doesn't say, it just says Happy Christmas. So that's helpful. It was published, 71 this was published in. The spine has faded because of course it has, but my mum read this to me as a kid. She loved as a kid, she read it to me and my brother, and I have very fond memories of it, and then I've since received it, and so this is a copy that I hold near and dear. Yeah, I mean, the books that I received, like the closest thing I can think of is the first book in the Cirque du Freak series by Darren Shan. I'll put a picture of it here because it is in the middle of a stack and I'm not getting it out. That would be the closest one that I received as a child, and even then I received it when I was like maybe 8 or 9. Question number 2, The Ghost of Christmas Past. Is there a book or series you like to revisit each year at Christmas time? No. I'm trying to think, like, if there was one though, what would it be? The problem is I'm not a huge reader. The only book that I actively reread is Pumpkinheads in October. I think it'd be really cute to reread a book around Christmas time. I think that sounds like a fun tradition. I just can't think of any that I would want to read. Like, there's A Christmas Carol. I don't think I'd want to read that every year. I know that story pretty well. Agatha Christie? What? I feel like I'd be more likely to want to reread like an author every year rather than like a specific book or series. Like Christina Lauren would be really fun because they're so cozy. Like, I've been tempted to reread In Holidays by them. I read it like 2 years ago, like Christmas 2 years ago. And while this isn't my favourite of Christina Lauren's like plots or even like romantic interests, the vibes were so good, and I'm like, I keep thinking about like the uncle in this was so much fun. Very tempting. I'm very tempted. I think Agatha Christie could be really fun to reread every year. I'm actually currently reading Midwinter Murder by Agatha Christie. I'm like quite a way of the way in as well. Here-ish. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I know that Agatha Christie also has a book of like short stories, like Christmas short stories, like something about the Christmas pudding is in the title somewhere. And I don't know, I've never come across anything like Christmassy enough and like short and easy enough to read that like I've really attached to. Even Christmas films, I have to rotate them because I get really sick of them quickly. If I was going to, it'd probably be either a Christina Lauren book or an Agatha Christie book. I think they have like the vibes that I would like to reread every year. What a boring answer to that question. Number 3, Christmas Tree. That rhymed. Name a series that reaches new heights with every entry. It's interesting that this is like worded present tense. I don't think I'm in the middle of reading very many series. The Akatar series. I've read the first book in the Atlas 6 and I've yet to read any of the others. I know the second one's out now. Dune, I've read the first 2. But I don't know if any of those, like I've only read the Atlas 6, so I can't really say. But with the other 2, I don't necessarily think it's gotten better with each installment. I think Dune, I've only read Dune and Dune Messiah, but Dune is my favourite. And of Akatar, Akumath is my favourite Akatar book. So if we're thinking about past series that I've read, I mean, there's a really obvious answer. I'm trying to think if there's one that's like more exciting than the obvious answer, but I can't think of any. So we're just gonna go with my tried and true Throne of Glass. This series, like the scale of it, how it, like, even if you didn't necessarily like each book better, like I really liked the first 2 books. Aerofy was fine to me. I really loved Queen of Shadows. Empire of Storms is my favourite, but then I think Tower of Dawn and Empire of Ash are also really strong. I think the trajectory of the epicness and the scale, the only one that maybe slightly let me down is Kingdom of Ash. But there was just 1 or 2 pieces of the puzzle that didn't quite fit in the way I was expecting them to, and up until that point I'd been really satisfied by the way the puzzle fit together. But on the whole, it's still a really epic book. It's still like a great conclusion. As far as the last books in the series go, it's up there in my mind as a good one. It's like, it didn't let me down. So Throne of Glass. Number 4, Friends and Family. Name a book with fantastic characters. Well, I mean, there's Sarah J Maas, all of her characters are fantastic, but I'm not gonna say that one. Someone else who has fantastic characters though is Olivia Blake. Fairly recently read Masters of Death by her, and the characters in this, like, I think it's my favourite part of the book. Her characters are always just great. They feel really real. Their interactions are really snarky and sarcastic and funny. Like, I love the characters in the other six, obviously, and I adored the characters in One for My Enemy, but the characters in there's just something about them. I feel like they're the goofiest of all of her characters, and her characters, like I said, are pretty humorous. While the stakes in this one, they're pretty much, I think they're higher actually than they are in either of the other two books. The characters, they just had this like detachment from in part it's because they're supernatural creatures, and like that's the way supernatural creatures work in this world, so it's great. But even our human just doesn't care that much. Like, he does, but he doesn't act like he does. Cared so much about their plights. One or two like relationships, and there's like a couple in particular that I really cared about and attached myself to. I had so much fun with them. They like really made this book for me. I mean, the world was great, the plot was great, but the characters. Number 5, decorations. Name a book with a gorgeous cover you would proudly display on your shelves. There's so many. There's so many. I'm gonna try and think of one that I've not already said before. Oh, there's The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. I have the Waterstones exclusive edition, so it's like a naked book. It's purple with like gold foil. I'm gonna get it. It's like at the very top of my shelves, but a picture's not gonna do it justice. This one is the first book that came to my mind because look at that. If that is not just one of the most gorgeous things, I'm obsessed. I love that like there's no writing on the cover. It's just, I do however want to give like an honorary mention to The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi because I love, look at that. I love the bordering, and the spine is stunning. I cannot wait to have more books in this series and to see their covers and have like a set. 6, Christmas cards. Name a book that carries a great message. I was reading the wrong prompt. This stumped me, but I have an answer. And that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Like, I know it's coming from like the fairy tale aspect, like fables, whatnot, but I really liked the portrayal of like love and relationships in this one. It's funny, I say it has a great message. I can't remember exactly how it ended, exactly how it left off, but I remember being like really pleasantly surprised. I remember thinking it had a really like just mature perspective and take, and like realistic. In Beach Read, our main character, she's had like her idea of love like shaken up, and that's kind of part of the problem. Is like ingrained into the plot because she's a romance writer, and because she's had her like her belief in love shaken up by like something that's happened. Learning to accept love and like fall in love with love again. It's just a very realistic take, and there's not a lot of like, it doesn't sugarcoat things is what I'm trying to say. It's not just like sappy love for the sake of sappy love. It feels real. I feel like it definitely kind of had like a teaching moment towards the end, and I liked it. I think it was really cute. I think it was done well. Number 7, Ice and Snow. Name a book that you were hoping to love but which ultimately left you feeling cold. I did not prepare an answer for this one. See, the thing is, I feel like that happened recently. Oh, no, actually I have a couple. The one I'm gonna go with is Now She's Witch by Kirsty Logan. I adore the cover for this one. The premise sounded really, like specifically the synopsis. Let's see if I can find it. Lux has lost everything when Else finds her alone in the woods. Her family, her lover, her home, all burned. The world is suspicious of women like her, but Lux is cunning. She knows how to exploit people's expectations, how to blend into the background, and she knows a lot about poisons. Else has not found Lux by accident. She needs her help to seek revenge against the man who wronged her, and together they pursue him north. But on their hunt, they will uncover dark secrets that entangle them with dangerous adversaries. Like, what I thought that was gonna be isn't quite how it ended up being. Like, in my mind, like, I could kind of see this plot unfolding and this world unfolding, and what, like, the plot and the world that ended up actually unfolding were completely different to what I was anticipating. But even then, like, I just don't think it was to my taste. The writing was stunning. The writing was so gorgeous, but the pacing I really struggled with. I didn't love the way it was structured either. Like, it's made up of sections and I just didn't, I think that affected the pacing. I think it made it feel kind of wonky. I just wasn't invested in it in the way I wanted to be invested. I didn't care, like, yeah. 8, Christmas Lunch. Name a book that was big and intimidating but also worth it in the end. I thought of a couple. Fire of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This intimidated me for so, like, I put it off for so like years. I put it off for years. Just recently finished it and I really enjoyed it. I really love this world. I'm definitely like way more interested now to read more Samantha Shannon's works. I have the Bone Season now. That's the series I was like umming and ahhing about, but after reading this I'm definitely gonna read that. I really ended up enjoying it. I don't think it should have been any shorter. In fact, I wouldn't have minded if it was longer. It actually wasn't that intimidating in the end. I just read it very slowly over a long period of time. But I didn't even mind. Like, I didn't get impatient at all, which is rare for me. And then the other one that I quickly want to mention is Dune by Frank Herbert. I read this because I wanted to watch the film. It's quite big. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it very much. It kind of felt more like a chore. And then I ended up loving it. I was so very similarly to The Priory. I was enthralled the whole time. I never got bored. It didn't feel like a chore to read. It didn't feel like it was taking forever. It didn't feel like a beast to climb. I was just completely absorbed into it. I continued the series. I've read the second book. I haven't yet to read the third book. I was supposed to do it this year and I didn't. So hopefully I'll do 2 next year. I'll make up for it. Number 9. Name a book you found sweet and satisfying. There's so like any of these more or less. First one that comes to mind though is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This was so cute. It was so much fun. I shipped the ship so much. I loved the family dynamics. It was really sweet. Had a really cozy feeling to it. It was dealing with some really hard themes, but that just made it so much more endearing. Yeah, I was really impressed by this one. The writing was really lovely and fluffy. Just like sweet. It was satisfying as well. Like it paid off. It got really like tense at one point and the end was fantastic. I ended up tearing up I think at multiple points in this one. Yeah, sweet and satisfying is right. Number 10. Presents. What book do you wish you could give everyone to read? I hate this question. Like there's like so many different variations of it, but there is no universal book that you can give to everyone to read and they will love it. I could give a book to everyone and they were guaranteed to love it. I would give them The Song of Achilles by Madame Miller because it's one of my absolute favourite books. One of my other absolute favourite books is The Star of the Sea and I just don't think it's just not gonna work. It's just not. Whereas this one like I think has a better chance of working. It's just as a love story but set in ancient Greece during the Trojan War. Like what's not to love? I also think the writing was stunning. I think it was a really beautiful story. But like I said, I don't think everyone's guaranteed to like that book and it scares me. So my other option is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think most like the oldie book specifically. I think people deserve to experience that. I mean it's also one of my favorites as well. But I think this will appeal to a wider audience. So this one. Question 11, spreading the festive cheer. Tag some friends to help spread the festive bookish love. If you're watching this and you want to do the tag, consider yourself tagged. Those are all the questions. This was fun. This was cute. I hope you enjoyed my little setup. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a Happy New Year. And I will see you again in January. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a joyful morning, afternoon, evening / night. My name's Jade. I hope I see you again next time. Goodbye!